You are now smelling the StenchCast.
What's that smell?
Zooey mama. Morty! 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 Morty, your balls dropped, Morty. You need to stop having voice cracks, Morty. Oh,
Morty.
Rick.
Morty, I'm gonna kill you, Morty.
I like the fucking the Fortnite thing where it's like Mexican Rick and Morty playing Fortnite. He can't actually burp, so he just goes burp. Imitates it horrifically. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to StenchCast. We are your hosts, Pench
And Smench.
and I would like to apologize personally, because it's more my fault than anything, for missing the upload last week. I've been pretty caught up with some shit that I've been dealing with last week, but also it's a lot to do with the fact that I am graduating high school next week, and there's a lot of shit that we need to do. We have finals, we have final projects. I had quite a few final projects to do, and the stress of everything was kind of just like, yeah, I don't want to do anything, which is also why I haven't uploaded on my YouTube channel in 2 weeks. I gave a little update on that, and I released a teaser for the project that I'm working on. But I promise I am not doing the thing where I stop uploading and only upload like every 5 months. And for some odd reason feel the need to post an update every time. But yeah, I am hoping to resume my normal upload schedule of every Friday. That'd be very nice. That's the ideal situation. If not, well, sorry, but
Fuck you.
yeah, fuck you. Anyway, Joe, how you doing?
You
What are you
know.
playing today?
Well, I was playing a bit of Barony, a game I recently purchased. It's pretty cool. Dungeon diver, roguelike. Couldn't think of the word.
Okay.
It's pretty epic. It's like voxel style, not really much destruction, except for you can you can break some of the walls and stuff in the dungeon there, but it's a pretty cool thing. You get to pick a class, go in, and it's up to 4-player multiplayer, and the cool thing is you can also do split screen multiplayer.
That's
So
sick.
if you so if you have some extra controllers, you can have some friends join the game with you there. But yeah, it's just a really cool game I've been playing recently, and I just like right before we started, I died on my playthrough that I got like the farthest in. I was like level 50 almost, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill. I'm good.
Yeah.
It could have done, but yeah.
Me personally, I'm playing some good old Rust, which I'm gonna turn the game volume down actually, because I feel like that's gonna be a bitch later. I can already hear explosions in the background. Someone's getting raided right now. I started playing again a little bit last night, and just got a little base started. It's kind of tucked away over there, behind some trees and shrubbery and such. And I was very surprised when deciding whether or not I was going to play, to see that my base is still there.
Yeah.
Usually what happens is, I always think I hide my base so well. I hide it at the bottom of a cliff face, or, I don't know, just somewhere really nice and hidden, and then, well, it turns out that it wasn't as well hidden as I thought it was. Yeah. Also, I'm going to go back and actually grab a tool that's appropriate, because using my sign machete is probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
It breaks faster when you use it for everything. Breaks faster when you don't use it for the right job, but but yeah, there was one time I was playing. I had this really cool mountainside base on the very top of a cliff that overlooked a lot of the other bases, and for the most part I minded my own business. I had a really cool thing going on where I had this cool room that was meant to look like the loot storage, but there were 3 layers of just trap rooms ahead of it. And then when you finally got to the loot, you find out there's nothing actually there. My loot was hidden somewhere else. But I had that base for a solid like week and a half. I think it was really fun. I even got to the point where it was like mostly reinforced metal, and to the point that I had like raid bases on the outside. And then one day I log on and find out, oh, it's gone. And like, I was just like, all right, fuck. I guess I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Which sucked, but you know that's how Rust goes.
I couldn't deal with that. I'd be like, all right, well, I'm never playing this game again.
Yeah, I get why you don't play Rust.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of rare that I play it anymore. But I don't know. Because usually when I decide to play, it's like, oh, cool, I'm going to play some Rust, and it's going to be epic. And then I start trying to play it, and suddenly realize, okay, it takes 1,000 years to load into the menu, and a billion years to load into a game, just to find out that there's not a single good place to start a base, because everywhere else is taken.
Yeah.
So, you know. The server I'm playing on right now is cool. It has double, it's modded. It has double, like, resource gain. So it's kind of easier to get a start. And also it saves your blueprints, on wipes. So you never get your blueprints wiped, which is really nice.
Epic.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, the first topic of today, if, Joe, you want to get started with some, you said you were going to talk about barony a little bit?
Yeah, so I touched on it a little bit before when I was talking about how I died and lost everything.
Yeah.
It's such
Much like
as
Rust.
yeah, I was gonna say such as similar to Rust, but um uh the difference with like roguelikes like Barony and Rust is with like when you die in the run, you don't lose your entire base you spend hours working towards. You just lose like 2 hours of dungeon diving and like your cool items, which you can typically find again.
Yeah, but that
But
feels nice.
yeah,
With me,
I
like,
mean,
since
half
the
the
blueprints always save for the server, like, usually I can just make it whatever I lost again, and it's fine.
yeah,
But, you know,
yeah,
it takes time.
yeah. One cool thing about Barony is there's like a whole slew of like skills that I really wasn't expecting going into. Like I really didn't have any expectations because I just saw it on Steam. It was like a $20 um, roguelike dungeon diver. I was like, oh, it looks cool, whatever. Looked at a couple screenshots and eventually bought it when it went on sale for like $15.
Yeah.
And the like you have the whole bunch of skills and the classes, and the classes just the only thing they do is they give you an amount of points and some like certain skills, and then they also give you a bit of starting gear when you start off.
Right.
So in theory you could start as like a magician and then just brute force your way into becoming like a warrior or something like that.
Yeah.
No point in doing that because it's going to take way longer, but you could do it. And there's like one skill that I was really surprised about, and it's appraisal. So whenever you pick up an item, you have no idea what it does. I mean, you have like a semblance of an idea because it's like a sword or something. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna fight with that, like whatever. But if you don't have it appraised, you don't know how much damage it's gonna do. Or in the game, there's cursed items. So if you equip a cursed sword, it's just stuck in your hand and you can't remove it until it like breaks. Or
Right.
I think that's the only
Like
way
funny
you can remove
curse
it.
of binding.
Yeah, pretty much.
From
And same with like
Minecraft.
armor. The I think almost any item can have a pretty much every item can have a curse, but it does something different with each item. For
Right.
example, like a spell book, you can learn spells from, or just cast the spell directly from the spell book. But if you try to learn a spell from a cursed spell book, you will not only not learn that spell, but you will also just completely forget a different spell you had on you, just making it annoying. But yeah, you don't know if it's cursed or not without a high enough appraisal skill to see. And then it's most classes, unless you're picking like a wizard or something, someone who with like more who would have a bit of a skill and appraisal. If you don't pick anyone like that, it starts at 0, and you have to go around the dungeon and find an item with a low enough appraisal skill value, whatever, to appraise it, and then get the skill going. Otherwise, you're just going to go through the dungeon not knowing what anything is.
Yeah.
And one of the funny items that you can get, there are amulets you can go around and collect as one of your equipment. And if you pick up an amulet and it's cursed, but you don't know, you can't appraise it. Some amulets have an effect of just strangulation. So you will put an amulet on, and it'll just fucking strangle you to death. And
Like a fucking SCP.
yeah, you're just like, oh, this is a pretty cool necklace. Yeah. And if it's cursed, you just can't get it off, so you just suffocate. You get strangled to death. I mean, I think if it's not cursed, I think you might be able to take it off. And I remember the first time I found an amulet with strangulation. I had an appraisal skill to appraise it, so I was like, "Oh, it's strangulation," and it didn't even occur to me what it was. I didn't know what it was. I was like, "Let me put this on." It just strangled me until I took it off because it wasn't cursed. So I took it off and survived. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, but I have almost 20 hours in the game already, and I bought it maybe like a week ago. But
Sick.
it's been a great, fun, cool time game and whatnot, and I'm considering buying the DLC that comes with it because there's 2 DLCs and they're both like $4, and the stuff included is you get some more classes, and then you also get to change the race of your character, so you can be like a goblin or something, which is pretty cool, and I'd like to explore because it's always fun, after you get angry from dying and lose all your shit, you just go back to the menu. You're like, all right, let's pick a different class. Let's pick a little dude or something, and like a different guy, whatever, and have a great time. And it also has like it just has like a little sense of humor built in with it. With like there's the randomized name button, like a generator, I guess. And just a lot of them names are just like absolute like crazy time. I remember one of my top characters was named Taco Justice.
Taco Justice. That's epic.
Yeah, all one word, and that was like epic. But yeah, and then
I'm
whenever
finding
you go
some absolutely incredible shit right now. Sorry.
epic, and whenever you go to exit the game. From the title screen, you just hit exit. It has the confirmation like, oh, do you really want to quit? But it always has like a custom little message, and it'll say something like, oh, quitter says what, and then there will be a button that says what, and then a button that says not this time. And it's always a funny thing. I remember one was something along the lines like, yeah, you probably couldn't beat the game anyway. I was like, yeah, whatever.
That's fucking awesome. It's like in Doom or Wolfenstein is probably a better example. Doom does it too, but it like makes fun of you for playing on lower difficulties. In Wolfenstein, the little icons is BJ Blazkowicz, and the like lowest difficulty has him in a fucking baby bonnet with a binky. It's like, oh, you fucking baby. You little fucking baby. You know, you can't play the game on a high difficulty, you fucking baby.
For real. But yeah, it's just one of the games I've been getting into, having a great time, having a good fun time.
Right.
It's been epic.
Yeah. Speaking of getting into games, I recently got back into Helldivers. Big shocker there.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Helldivers. Our good buddy Evan might actually be getting it as well. So, just maybe, there will be a Helldivers video on my channel at some point. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I could give, like my little weekly update thing again, but I'll be honest, there's not much.
Yeah. It's been 2 weeks as well.
Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think of like what all has happened in the last few weeks. Um, I mean, we had the TCS missions reappear where instead of deploying the terminus, holy fuck, terminated control systems, we had to shut them down because they were apparently actually increasing reproduction rates in the terminates. So it was like, oh, all right, well, we're actually hindering our efforts.
Yeah.
But why is it not putting? No, stop it! Oh, it's because it's full. Yeah, that's really about it for Helldivers, I guess. The current major order is to defeat 3 billion enemies, but it's not. I'm being serious. The last one was to kill 3 billion Terminids. And one of the major orders before that was 2 billion yeah, 2 billion automatons, which was easy and was done very quickly because there was a glitch where all of your kills were counting, like, basically if you had 4 people in one squad, you could multiply your kills by 3 because it was counting everybody's kills in the squad. Like a fucking echo chamber of kill count. But, this time, that didn't happen. And we actually got very close. We got to like 2.5 billion out of 1.5 billion out of 2 billion automatons. This one is just enemies in general across both fronts. And I don't know how far we are now. I didn't check. But, yeah, awesome Helldivers moment. I also want to talk a little bit more about my little break that I had. My Little Pony.
My Little Pony.
Yeah. I made a little community post on my YouTube channel basically saying why I've been gone and basically just giving a small update, not doing the video update that I did when I uploaded every 3 months. And I got a really awesome comment that I never expected to get. And it actually like brought a tear to my eye. I was very close to crying like a little bitch. But from... Sorry, I'm gonna, like, butcher this fucking name. Sarasasar Miento 80. He said, keep working on yourself and your life. We're always here to watch your vids, no matter how long you take to post. Love your vids. And that, like, actually almost made me fucking cry.
Yeah.
Miento, if you're watching this, thank you very much for that comment. Made my fucking night.
Real.
But yeah, like I said, I just uploaded a a little teaser for the project that I'm working on. So I don't know when that'll be complete. I'll be honest with you. I'm no farther than I was the last time that I mentioned it. I'm still about 11 minutes in. But that's mostly because I just haven't had time to work on it.
Yeah.
Or really any project. But aside from that, I think a good topic to talk about now would be the absolutely scuffed fucking D&D session that we had on Friday. Joe, you want to open that up a little bit?
Yeah. All right. So we've mentioned before in the podcast we play D&D. It's on and off really. It's like once every like 4 months and longer. But, we sit down and we try and play a game. And, well, we try and plan a game.
Always a different campaign, too.
Yeah. But we sit down and try to plan a game. And sometimes, we'll actually go through with it. But other times we won't. But this time we actually did. So we have the team together. We have me and Jordan here, of course. And then we also had... Gibby was there, Niall was there, and we were playing at the Boondocks house. I remember I called him that because I rewatched the episode where I was talking about him, which was almost a year ago because that was...
The Boondog, baby.
Yeah, because that story was when I graduated.
Oh my god. Fuck that! Stop!
That's almost a year ago. But, yeah, we were at the Boondocks house, and... we're in the group chat. We're talking. He texts like, like, oh yeah, we're gonna go in my basement. We're gonna play in my basement. Like, all right, yeah, I've been to his house before. It's a pretty nice house, probably a pretty good basement. And then we also get a text like, oh, does anyone have like a table, like a folding table, something like that? No one really did, and eventually he was just like, yeah, I got a table. It's fine.
Right.
And so after I left the house and picked up Jordan, and drove around the block several times because I couldn't find the specific alleyway that his house was in because I'd never driven there myself.
Right.
We finally made it in. We were the first ones there, and he's like, "Well, how's it going, guys? What's up? It's right this way." And we get presented with the basement doors, the fucking fallout shelter bunker doors
Yep.
outside of his house, and we go on in, and we find that he took the dungeon part of Dungeons and Dragons a bit too literally,
Yeah.
and put us in a dungeon.
Yeah.
And like this basement, it was like in terms of basements, mine's also pretty bad. So it's maybe the same, but a lot smaller. And this table he found was actually a giant piece of drywall that he just found and put on like two stilts of like random items with a couple of chairs around this piece of drywall. Um,
Yeah.
it worked. It did work. I'll give him that. It worked. I wasn't uncomfortable, but I wasn't comfortable.
Yeah. I can agree
But
with that sentiment.
yeah, but it still worked. We're definitely playing somewhere else next time.
Oh yeah. No.
um,
We he kept like cracking jokes about it at the beginning, and he just kept being like, "Shut the fuck up."
oh,
Yeah. Again, the table was literally just drywall stacked on top of a couple of boxes and buckets. So
Yep.
we had to really be careful. Like we couldn't. Every once in a while, we'll like slam down on the table as a little bit. We couldn't do that. I had to like physically tell myself not to do that.
Yeah,
Um,
I would
I
I would
had
lean on the table, and whenever I would roll the dice, it would continue rolling down towards me because the
yeah.
table was literally leading towards me.
Yeah. But I had a little bit with my character where uh, he had intrusive thoughts, and every time that I had an intrusive thought, I had to roll the d20 to see if I would actually go through with it and say it out loud.
Mm,
And if I got higher than 10, I would go through with it. Or if I
yeah.
got higher than 10, I wouldn't go through with it.
Mm,
But we had this really... we were doing really good. We were fighting these scarecrows because for some odd reason, I was just doing fucking amazing with my perception checks and whatnot, and we found these scarecrows. And we're in a cornfield, or wheat field, whatever. There was some confusion there.
yeah.
And Niall... Well, okay, sorry. Previous to this, we got the quest from the lady and man who owned the little farm to get water from the well and harvest wheat, which I passed a critical strength check, a nat 20, to get water from the well, and ended up grabbing like a kiddie pool and just filling up the entire kiddie pool with water.
Yep.
But when we were fighting the scarecrows, Niall got the very bright idea to use fire. He burnt down most of the field.
Yep. And I remember specifically before, like at the very start of this fight, he's like, "I'm not gonna use fire because I'm smart." Right at the end of the fight, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna use a bonfire. I'm gonna cast bonfire," and I'm like, "No, that's a horrible idea." He's like, "Trust me, I have
I'm gonna be
perfect
precise.
control." Yeah, I'm gonna be precise with it.
Yeah.
Rolls in that one.
Yeah. It was really bad.
Oh my god.
But it worked out because the kiddie pool full of water, Gibby suddenly remembered it, so we were able to put out most of the fire, but still most of the place got burnt down.
Yeah.
And then eventually we have this really cool fight in this dark dungeon. Not talking about the basement anymore.
Yeah.
where we're fighting. Oh, what were they called again?
Heck.
Something
They
like
were.
beast in it.
Yeah, it was. Fuck. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
But we're fighting these two like really massive beast enemies, or sorry, this one massive beast enemy, and to Boondock's credit, he forgot to do something with them and realized a little too late that he had kind of accidentally made it weaker, which is all too common when we play D&D. Either something is made way too weak on accident or way too strong. So we were supposed to lose that fight, but we won.
Basilisk.
Basilisk, that's right. He introduces another, which, by the way, you can't look directly at them or they will turn you to stone like Medusa.
Yeah. I want to provide a bit of context first, because my character was I played the funny halfling rogue, and I also had a funny little bit going where when I was making my character, well, I made my character, but we came in and the Boondocks wanted to add, he wanted to get like our characters a little bit of backstory and try and implement it into the story. And when it got to me, he was like, "All right, well, like, what's your character's backstory?" And I was like, "I have nothing. I don't know. My backstory is gonna be that I've completely forgotten everything."
Yeah.
And it eventually turned into I have like terrible amnesia, and I would like upon
I forgot
receiving
about this, yeah.
upon receiving any important detail or information, I would roll a d20. Anything above a 10, I would remember the information. Anything below, I would not.
Yeah.
And
Which is
so
so
we were
fucking funny.
yeah,
At
because
one point, he, I think I told his character my character's name. And, of course, he didn't remember. And then Niall said something, and I just said, "Fuck you." And to his character, that was my character's name. That's what he remembered.
no, it was I was asking your name, and you just looked at me, you're like, "Fuck you," and I remembered it.
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah.
then you're like, "Actually, this is my name," and I just like completely forgot. And I just remember you're like, "Man, I love this game."
Yeah. That was really fucking funny.
Yeah, but I played a rogue, and I was basically I was completely untouched this entire battle, and I'm pretty sure we have no idea how this sneak works because I don't know if we were doing it right at all. But it was funny the way it turned out, so I'm fine with it. I'm definitely gonna look up how it works because we were not using it right at all. It was way too overpowered. But yeah, we killed the first one, and I believe Gibby got permadeath. He got completely
He got
obliterated.
He got perma-killed.
And Niall had set it on fire, which actually just healed it because it's a beast of fire. So he just healed it and made it stronger, and it turned him to stone. It was either this one or the second one turned him to stone. So it was just me and Jordan here.
Yep.
And the entire time I was just hidden in the shadows. It was a dark room, so I was like, I'm hidden. I'm gonna hide, and I hid. And
he, I think it was because one of your stats was really high that Boondog had to roll like a decently high number. Wasn't it 16?
Yeah.
In order
it was
spot you?
no,
And he couldn't fucking do it. He only did it once.
The thing was with that was I would roll a stealth check. So I was hidden, and he would roll a perception check. I would roll the stealth check. So if he rolled higher than me, he would find me. But if I rolled higher than him, I'd stay hidden. And being a rogue, I have expertise, which in stealth, which is basically proficiency. Like how you fill in that bubble, but like double that base. Well, not double, but like just extra.
Yeah.
And so I had a +8 in stealth. So whatever I rolled, I got at least 9. Well, no, I got at least 10 actually, because every time I rolled a nat 1, being a Lightfoot halfling, anytime I roll a nat 1, I can re-roll it because I have the trait Lucky. So I couldn't roll a nat 1, and so the lowest I could roll was 2 +8 is 10. The lowest roll for stealth I can get is 10, and I was hitting pretty high numbers every single time, and he was just failing to see me.
Yep.
And we eventually took down the second basilisk.
Which I landed a nat. I kept like failing to hit them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I rolled a nat 20 and just absolutely fucking obliterated him because I also had wrath or rage active.
Yeah, which we
and I did.
forgot about it like halfway.
I absolutely fucking obliterated him. I did like 18 damage, I think.
Yeah.
And like it was over right then and there. But yeah, the third one rolls around and shit you not has a pair of reading glasses.
He's like, you know what? The third one comes out and he's got on a pair of glasses. Because again, we were
supposed to lose this fight.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a scripted battle where we lose to the first basilisk, and an NPC we met earlier comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
But no, we took down 2 basilisks, only for the third one to come out, and I'd failed a stealth check, so he rolled like 1 higher than me and found me, immediately just owned me, and I went down. It was then my turn because I went after him. So I rolled a saving throw because I wasn't fully dead. I was only down. So I rolled a saving throw, and it succeeded. And so it shifted its attack towards Jordan, and he got really cocky. He was like, the basilisk takes off his glasses.
Yeah.
Goes over to kill Jordan, basically.
And I think he kept missing.
No, he did kill you.
Yeah, he perma-killed me, yeah.
Yeah, but then that was the basilisk's turn, so I was like, wait, it's my turn now. And I needed to roll a nat 20 for a saving throw to get back up. And I rolled a nat 20, got the save throw, got back up. I was like, all right, now I hide. And he was like, no, he took off the glasses. And so I shot the glasses.
Yep.
And what I'm pretty sure is supposed to happen with stealth is every time you attack, I believe, either you have to make the stealth saving throw, or you're just unhidden and you have to go, like, if you have to hide again. Probably the latter, but we were kind of going off the former, but it was on the basilisk's turn. He would try to just roll a perception throw, and I rolled stealth. It was pretty scuffed, but it made for a very enjoyable, funny time. And I think I just at one point I lost another saving throw for stealth, and he just ended up killing me. But
yeah,
it was incredible because he had the character come in and just slice off the basilisk's head. And right. I just kept going like, oh man, that's nothing. You should see the other 2, like the other 2 basilisks we took down. Ugh.
It was fucking awesome. It really was.
Good, great fun time.
Yeah, I originally wasn't gonna go because, like I said, I've been dealing with some shit lately, going through the rough of it. But Joe convinced me, and I'm really glad he did.
Yep.
Because I had a lot of fun, and
yeah,
it brightened up my week quite a bit.
Yeah, I told you, D&D is always a good fun time, and I was not wrong.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me check how much time we're at. We're at half an hour. I want to. This is a topic that's probably going to last us the rest of the video. AAA gaming. Oh boy. So, in I think probably the last episode I talked a little bit about the fact that Sony had suddenly made it a requirement, which was going to be a requirement anyway, but it hadn't been because of the game's server issues at launch. About, I think it was 3 months in to the game's release, Sony
Something like
decided that it would be mandatory for all Helldivers PC players to have a PSN account linked.
That was a pretty cool idea. Let's do this.
Which, okay, it's a stupid idea because a lot of people don't like PSN. It's not the most secure network. As a matter of fact, it has had not thousands, but like almost a dozen security breaches in which player information was just openly fucking, shared, basically.
1,000, dozen, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. And not just like player information, like credit card information, banking information, home addresses, shit like that. So
Yeah.
I think you can understand why PC players don't want to have a PSN account. But also, there was one absolutely massive problem, which is that like 177 countries don't have access to PSN.
Mm-hmm.
And so they weren't able to buy the game anymore. Or, well, they weren't able to play the game anymore, so they refunded it, which, even if you had like 90 hours in the game, Gabe Newell, the epic man that he is, with Steam, was still allowing refunds. He didn't care. And then he also delisted the game from the store in those countries. Sony, because of this, decided to walk back on the decision, which is like fucking unheard of.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's no longer a requirement for PC players to have a PSN account, which is really nice.
Yeah.
However, from what I hear, there are still some countries where the game is not purchasable. I don't know, but yeah. So that was Sony's blunder.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Microsoft's blunder. Microsoft, I'll be honest with you, they are one of the dumbest fucking companies of all time.
Yep.
For when it comes to Windows, they know they have a monopoly on operating systems because it's either you have Mac OS if you're on Apple hardware.
Just don't.
Yeah.
It's not even worth it.
Which you can only use Mac OS if you have like a Macintosh.
Why would
Or
you buy
Linux, which is coding your own operating system, which is not the most accessible to most people. Unless you're like a fucking coding whiz. But Microsoft knows they have a monopoly on that operating system field, and so Windows costs a fucking fortune, which is why no one actually pays for it.
Yep.
To get like an activated copy of Windows 10 is like $200 fucking dollars.
Yep.
For no fucking reason. Absolutely none whatsoever. My PC was supposed to come with a copy of Windows 10 Pro. It didn't. And so, yeah. That's... Microsoft is just not very consumer friendly, but they're also just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So, a game recently came out called Hi-Fi Rush. It's kind of an indie game, but I guess technically not an indie game since Microsoft has its publisher. And it fucking boomed. It was easily one of their most best-selling games this year. In the last, 5 years, I'd reckon.
Yeah.
And Microsoft even, openly said how pleased they were with this game and how much they needed more games like that. They shut down the studio. They shut down the studio that made it and the studio that made Redfall, Arcane. I forget what else Arcane made, but I know Redfall wasn't their only game and that they were a group of good developers. But I think Redfall was just very rushed out the door. But... Sorry. Yeah, they shut down both of those studios. And it's like, Microsoft, you spent $750 billion. I think it was $75 billion. You spent $75 billion acquiring literal hundreds of studios. Not dozens, Fucking hundreds. When you acquired Bethesda and ZeniMax, you acquired all the studios that they have. You acquired hundreds of studios. You over fucking bought. You bit off more than you could chew. And so now they're having to have massive layoffs and shutdowns. And it's like, what the fuck did you expect? Buying that many studios. Like, you know, obviously Microsoft is a very wealthy company. They are one of the richest companies in the world. But, like, holy fuck, how can you be so stupid?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's... yeah, that was Microsoft's blunder, and then it's also just... Microsoft isn't very good at making decisions anyway. Phil Spencer is probably one of the most... Like, next to Todd Howard, one of the biggest fucking liars in the gaming industry. Yeah, how do I... There we go. Like, I don't know. He's made a lot of really big promises and failed to deliver on them.
Yeah.
But another thing is, like, Microsoft's handling of 343 Studios. I'm not going to go on another Halo Infinite rant, alright? I've gone on, like, 4 just on StenchCast alone. I almost made an entire video ranting on Halo Infinite. But, their handling of Halo Infinite was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking atrocious. And it got to the point where a lot of people were making jokes that, like, oh, 343 is just a small indie dev studio, guys. Don't be too hard on them. Obviously making the joke that despite having a multi-$100 billion company funding you, you still perform like a fucking indie company. Worse than an indie company.
Yeah.
Ubisoft, obviously, they have a new fucking blunder every week. This week's blunder is... I mean, technically not. It's more like this month's blunder. The fact that their Star Wars game, Star Wars Outlaws, which initially I was really excited for. Like, I remember when I first saw the first trailer on my recommended feed, I clicked on it, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, Star Wars game. The EA license thing with Disney is over. Finally, the company is making Star Wars games. And I was really hyped up about it, and then I saw the Ubisoft logo, and I immediately clicked off the video. Immediately killed all fucking hype I had for the game.
Yep.
Trailer came out. A lot of people don't think the game looks very good. I thought the trailer was fine. But I know it's a Ubisoft game, so it's just going to be a rehash of one of their other games.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But the thing that people are pissed off about is the $250 edition of the game. I think it's $250. It might be $150. Either way, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Which the base game is already $70 because, of course, it is. Yeah, a lot of people are really mad about that. But the biggest blunder I want to talk about is a few months old now. Sea of Thieves' younger alcoholic brother. Skull and Bones, that's right. I couldn't remember the name. Skull and Bones had everything set up for it. All they had to do was... I've said this multiple times. All they had to do was copy the pirating mechanics of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I think a lot of people would have been happy. I wasn't going to play the game anyway, because Sea of Thieves already exists. But they made a game where you control a pirate ship that has a stamina bar. A fucking stamina bar for a pirate ship.
That was funny as fuck.
And, like, all the best parts about a pirate game, plundering, you know, fighting on each other's ships, that first-person gameplay of, like, you know, your crew fighting their crew, is all just relegated to a cutscene.
Yeah.
Like a 5-second cutscene, and the looting is also relegated to a shitty, like, almost like a Fallout 4-esque loot tab, where you're just like, oh yes, you acquired these items. It's like, awesome. I'm glad I paid $70 for what is essentially a fucking mobile game.
Yeah.
And then, like, the actual, like, main gameplay is just fucking gathering resources. A pirate game where you gather resources. Tell me what fucking sense does that make? Like, what?
Yeah.
So, oh, and by the way, my favorite thing about Skull and Bones, Ubisoft said that this was going to be the first quadruple A game. I don't think that they know what the fuck that means. Nobody else knows what that means.
They can't even make a triple A game. Why are they going for quadruple A?
They can't make a fucking half of an A game.
Yeah.
Like, they can't even make a fucking mobile game without it just being in development hell for like 6 years. Like Rainbow Six Siege Mobile, I think it's still not even out.
Probably.
And then there was another Rainbow Six game that was supposed to come out. I think it was like what Rainbow Six Extraction started out as. That never came out. Instead, Extraction came out, and of course that's a piece of shit that no one plays anymore because it doesn't get any updates.
Yeah.
But it's just like they tried so hard to hype it up, and they just couldn't because number one, there's no substance to the game, and number two, what are you supposed to hype up? Air? That's like Lay's trying to hype up people for the 40% oxygen that they put in their... Like, more like 60% oxygen that they put in their bags. So, guys, we made a new chip. This one, instead of being like a normal hole chip, it's like a grid pattern where there are squares cut out. We found a way to sell you more air.
Yeah.
It's like, cool.
We actually made it so the chip is just the bag, and the bag is empty.
Nobody wanted that. What? What are you talking about?
But everyone wants it. They'll buy a watch.
It kind of reminds
No one
me
bought it?
of when Blizzard announced Diablo 4 initially and said it was going to be a mobile game. Everybody booed them. Not a single person was excited about it.
Yeah.
Their response on stage was salty. They were like, "You guys not have phones?" It's just like, yeah. You also have, of course, Activision's blunders, which, you know, their main blunder is that every Call of Duty game that comes out, like, you'll have one game that is really good, like Modern Warfare 2019, or, I don't know, Advanced Warfare. I thought it wasn't bad, but the multiplayer monetization was fucking atrocious, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was a fun game. And then for the next 7 years, every game after that will be exactly the same. And obviously that's like their big blunder, but recently it's been discovered that they want to use AI for their games now, I guess. Which I seriously don't fucking understand the obsession that the fucking boner that these companies have for AI, where it's like they think it'll solve all of their problems. Like, oh yeah, this will do the work for us. We don't have to pay employees anymore.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you thinking? Like, do you think the AI is just gonna make all your fucking game concepts for you? Do you think anybody's gonna be interested in that?
I mean, honestly, if they just feed it like the same 15 copies of fucking Call of Duty, it can shit out another 16th copy of Call of Duty.
You're a fucking genius, Joe.
Yeah, I mean...
Check your emails. You're going to start getting emails from Activision and be like, hey, you want the fucking job?
no, they're not going to fire me. They got the AI to do it for them.
Oh!
They probably put into ChatGPT, how do we employ AI? And they gave it that exact answer.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the fucking, the wizard pondering his orb, but it's just ChatGPT.
Yeah.
There's a helicopter outside my base. I'm hoping it's not, like, landing near me. It's not. But, yeah, I've seen so many fucking Call of Duty YouTubers that I haven't watched in ages suddenly coming out of the woodwork. Not that they don't upload anymore, but, like, suddenly coming into my recommendation again. And every single video is just like Call of Duty is doomed or Activision is doomed. Call of Duty is changing. But it's
Call of Duty's changing. That's new.
Yeah. What's interesting is the fact that since it's AI that they're looking to use, a lot of these YouTubers are very like vehemently against it, because why would you support AI art? You're literally fucking taking jobs from people for the sake of
money.
a soulless robot. Yeah. Oh, someone's definitely getting raided. Holy fuck. I think someone has an attack helicopter. Either that or there's a patrol helicopter somewhere. I'm not sure, but I there's a helicopter and a lot of explosions.
It was a good night.
Yeah, World War I ASMR to fall asleep to.
Yeah, that's what I fall asleep to every night.
But it's just like with every game that has come out recently, besides indie games and like Helldivers 2 and Hi-Fi Rush and Baldur's Gate, it's like these companies actively hate money. They really just want to try their hardest to make sure that they get no fucking money whatsoever. Because you have Starbreeze, who made Payday 2. Payday 3 came out, and it got their CEO fired because of how much of a fucking bumbling dumbass he is. Apparently, he just spent, like, exorbitant amounts of money on the stupidest shit possible for Starbreeze. It's like, oh yeah, let's buy a new office in this really expensive building.
You know what we need?
Sir,
700 popsicles. Yeah.
Sure, man. And obviously Payday 3 is absolute fucking dog shit. Like, it has maybe 300 concurrent players at any given time of the week. You have, oh my god, fucking Rocksteady. The absolute titan developers behind the Arkham series of Batman games. How far they have fallen with fucking Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, dude. It has like maybe, I think it has less than 200 active players at any given time. I'm going to check right now on Steam charts. It is like a ridiculous fucking number. Payday 3 is bad, but Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is fucking horrendously down bad.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Anytime I hear about these games with like below concurrent players, I immediately think of Left 4 Dead 2 and how that has to have more players than these new AAA games. It's like, man, Valve really just did it right. Like,
that's the thing. I saw a fucking meme the other day. It was a 4chan green text. It was a picture of Gabe Newell, and it just says, make like 7 games and then do nothing for over a decade, while every other company continues to shoot themselves in the foot repeatedly. What is this business strategy called? Yeah, the 24-hour peak right now is 237.
That's awesome.
And then let's check Left 4 Dead 2. I guarantee it's in the thousands.
Yeah.
Big fucking shocker there. 22,000 people, all 24-hour peak. That is 4,000 more than the all-time peak for Suicide Squad.
That's epic.
Holy fucking shit! And that's like concurrent every day. There are like 20,000 people playing the game.
Yeah. Well, there's 20,000 people that watched my first Left 4 Dead video, so it makes sense. They all watched it.
Yeah, and like with a game like TF2, it's like there are a lot of bots.
Yeah.
I saw a video recently by Zesty Jesus that kind of proves that the majority of the player base is bots, so you can't really use that. But Left 4 Dead 2, there is a patrol helicopter. That's why there are explosions. I see it now. But Left 4 Dead 2, that game has been out since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still scoring 20,000 players a day.
Yeah.
It's a very simple game.
Yeah.
I don't get it why like every fucking company just loves, absolutely just finding every conceivable way to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of an analogy, but I'm coming up short because there's no fucking, like, proper analogy that'll do justice to how fucking bad these companies are at making money. Not making money. You look at EA, they're still making billions of dollars a week.
Yeah, on their, like, $1,000 Sims DLC.
Yeah, no, with their fucking sports games, dude. Do you have any idea how many people
Yeah.
are playing, like, fucking Madden right now? Or,
Yeah.
FIFA? But,
Yeah.
like, I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. It's like all these companies have a weird, like, metaphorical BDSM masochism, where they just want to cause themselves as much pain as possible. It's so fucking weird. I've been sitting in my base for the last, like, half hour because I've just been so fired up about this. But, yeah, let's check the time and see if I was right. Yep, 55 minutes. I told you that topic would take us to the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, I fucking love talking about... I love talking shit on companies. It is my favorite pastime. Easily.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
also the
God.
easiest thing to do.
Oh, well, Joe, if you want to roll the outro, I think we've got enough for today.
Yeah, so we are StenchCast.
We are. That is right.
Yeah, we are the StenchCast on YouTube. Soon, more on Spotify. We also have a Discord, which is free totally to join for free. You should definitely do that. Come hang out. We got a couple people in here, which I never thought I'd see in like 3 years at least.
Yeah.
But you know, it's happened. So you can join them. We also have a Patreon, which not quite yet, not much on there, but if you just want to support us, you can go and do that for free. Well, we get supported for free, but soon we will have content on this. So if you do want to support us, I recommend just holding out. Just stuff that little $5 in your pocket because it's $5 a month. Just stuff a little $5 in your pocket. Save it for that rainy day whenever.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's gonna be super duper awesome sunny day when the StenchCast Patreon gets revamped and has extra content on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also have our main channels, which you most likely came from because they're way more successful than this podcast. But you know, we still do the podcast because we're
Which
just
we're
epic like that.
extremely, eternally grateful for.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next week for the next episode, as long as we don't have any other personal shit going on. And
Yeah.
we'll see you then.
We hope you have an absolutely amazing fucking night.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.